Hi again, crabs, and welcome back to Nothing. And today in Nothing, we're gonna be looking at something that embodies every single joke I've ever made about doing a doo-doo inside of my imaginary pants, because I don't have legs. If y'all were on Twitter yesterday, you probably saw that hashtag National Drink Wine Day was trending, because I'm a 40-year-old single mother working hard to put my children through college. And I guess Kaitlin Bennett was trending too, but the drink wine trend was way better. I mean, look at this. One of the first tweets you see is a picture of a cute little kitty enjoying the sunlight and scenery next to an unrelated glass of and bottle of red wine. And I mean, I guess I can talk about Kaitlin Bennett. She exists, technically speaking. Like, she is a mass conglomerate of atoms and cells that meets the base requirement to be considered intelligent life. Alright, but listen, if I'm gonna do this, talk about Kaitlin Bennett, y'all need to drop a like, subscribe to the Kwite YouTube channel, and turn notifications on so you never miss a video in the future. Okay? That's the deal. That's the compromise we got. Capiche. What was she even doing that got her trending yesterday in the first place? So if you didn't get it, the joke here is that I'm pretending I'm finding out about this for the first time, but it's actually already written in the script I wrote. But what happened is that she went to Ohio University and people protested her. She claims that it was, quote, a riot and that the people there were furious, even though the Ohio University police say that the incident did not rise to the level of a riot and that there were no reported injuries or violence and no one was arrested during the event. In the video Kaitlin shared, there were a lot of people pointing their middle fingers at her. Not very nice at all. Definitely the imagery of violence I imagine when thinking of riots. How could you, Ohio University student? How could you even think about posting a TikTok flicking off Kaitlin Bennett driving away in her van? The most the Ohio University police said was that there was an unknown person in the crowd splashing water. Now, if you don't know the name Kaitlin Bennett but think she's a bit familiar looking, you may know her as the Kent State gun girl. She had a bunch of photos taken of her open carrying after she graduated and she went viral for that. Went viral. What am I, 40? And you may also recognize her from the various videos clowning on her. The big man Einaber took a stab at it, and she's a massive meme to make fun of on TikTok. Even Wilbur Shoot, big funny SMP Earthman, took some time out of his busy schedule to make a video on Kaitlin Bennett, in the title of which calling her the shoutiest girl on Twitter, and she does shout about some things. This is true. Like the Time Liberty Hangout, the YouTube channel she runs and posts daily content to, alluded to on Twitter that the Holocaust didn't happen. It doesn't seem possible that 6 million were killed. You're right, it was more like 11 million more than that over the course of the whole Holocaust era. There was also that time she said in regards to men kissing, it doesn't bother me, I just think it's gross.
You usually you don't care about kissing guys, it's just like okay to you?
You clearly care a lot because it bothers you, but it doesn't bother
bothers me?
Yeah, I really don't care.
Why does it bother me if I want you to do it?
It's such an uncomfortable situation. You obviously want
it's
to.
uncomfortable. I don't want you to kiss my fiance. That's what would make me uncomfortable.
About kissing a man in general, it clearly bothers you.
It doesn't bother me. I just think it's gross.
What?
The laughter out of that man after hearing the words she just spoke was incredible. Just the utter befuddlement of how you can justify it in your own brain that you can fit both the thought of gay people kissing as not bothering you, but also thinking that it's gross into the same sentence is gold. That's not gross, Kaitlin. It's actually quite adorable. You want to know something that's actually gross? Y'all already know the punchline to this joke, but I'm gonna say it anyways because I'm having too much fun, and it's shitting all over yourself in public at a Kent State party. You know what they say, you shit yourself once in public and it defines you for the rest of your life. And I don't know if that's how it should be in every case, but looking at the Kaitlin Bennett picture of her shitting herself, I can definitely understand how this one's come to do that. I mean, that's a lot of shit. I can't show you the picture directly, but here's a blurred version with the color brown to represent the poop in relation to some green color that represents her leg. Look at how far down that shit trickled. That's a lot, alright. I mean, at least the poop's consistency looks healthy. The nuggets are nicely clumped, and while the picture looks like it was taken on a Nintendo DSi, the color doesn't look too funky. But the other thing I'm wondering is what the girl whose legs are in the pic is thinking about this predicament. Like, what are you supposed to do here? So many thoughts must have been running through her head. Aside from shitting on herself though, there was also that time Kaitlin tried to shit on the girl who raised over $1 million to help fight Australia's bushfires by selling her nudes. And this was after the naked philanthropist said that she wanted to fight Kaitlin Bennett. Anyways, this is what Kaitlin said in response. You should start a campaign to get yourself some clothes and therapy, whore. Damn. And therapy for what? Being a good Samaritan and raising money in a creative way in order to help people? Give me a break. I know Kaitlin probably meant it in regards to her being a sex worker, the idea that going into a profession like that stems from trauma. As if she actually cares about this person's mental well-being. Yeah, you showed her how much you're concerned for her by telling her to get therapy right before calling her a whore. It's poetry, really. In addition to that one though, there was also that one time on Insta where she posted a photo captioned, "Talked with students from Parkland today, and they didn't like when I said to to abolish the ATF in all gun laws. Sorry, not sorry. And honestly, all I have to say to that is like, wow. But I'm gonna say more words anyways. Listen, feel and have your opinions on guns how you want, but have some respect when talking to people who have had loved ones that have been gunned down by guns. Don't caption an Insta photo, sorry not sorry. But then again, I'm not really surprised you don't outwardly care for the plight of school shooting victims and survivors. Considering you do work for InfoWars, a conspiracy theory news site run by Alex Jones, who has been court ordered to pay $100,000 in court costs and legal fees stemming from a lawsuit over his claims that the 2012 Sandy Hook massacre of school children was a hoax. It really just shows how much you care, Caitlyn. Really, really. There was also that time she followed a small child down the street to tell her that abortion is the #1 cause of death in America.
Hi, sweetie. Hi. Do you know what the #1 cause of death in the United States is? It's abortion.
No, actually,
It's abortion.
Shay, you have a right to one.
It really just shows how much you care about children and their well-being, doesn't it, Caitlyn? And I mean, I get it. I like punting children as much as the next guy. They will all feel the wrath of my foot eventually. But I ain't chasing them down the street to tell them that heart disease is actually the #1 cause of death in America. And that one sounds funnier anyways. And I feel like to some degree, this video is a nice little indicator as to the entirety of Caitlyn Bennett's motivation behind a lot of her videos, in that the kid is not something she can have a conversation with. And having an intellectual discussion has never been her intent going in. It was rather to have a confrontation. Philly D said it really well yesterday.
I mean, my personal thoughts on the matter based off of the videos I've seen her put out is that she doesn't genuinely want a conversation, she wants a confrontation, and that's actually what we saw here. So that's why I also think that this is likely fuel for her and her career.
Gun Girl comes off as someone who goes into these scenarios looking for the confrontation instead of the conversation. Like, let's just take a look at one of her videos and listen to the type of things she says when talking to people. College femme gets wacky. Let's take a look at that one real fast.
Rutgers is contributing to war crimes.
Essentially, yes. By investing in companies like Lockheed Martin that are war profiteers, they're encouraging the behavior.
Oh my God, it's kind of like Democrats and federal funding getting involved in Planned Parenthood. They're funding genocide.
I wouldn't say that because Planned Parenthood saves the lives of a lot of pregnant women. Like, even if we don't look at abortion at all.
Alright, so without stepping into the politics of this all, let's recap what she did. The person she's interviewing is responding to what Caitlyn herself said, and while she's talking, Caitlyn looks away from her and into the camera. She gives a funny, sarcastic face and zooms in on herself with an edit in post, giving the effect that Caitlyn feels that whatever the person is telling her is wacky.
I think that wasn't actually communism.
Of course it wasn't. And terminating babies isn't actually terminating babies. You are wacky. You are really just disgusting, and I think it's really sad what you support, and you're sitting here laughing about it. That's sad.
This is my Twitter bio. Are you kidding me? I really hope this is in the video, but I love this.
What's your name and major?
My name is Sophie. I'm engineering. That's as far as I'll go in that.
All right, well, I'm sure that they have a quota there for women engineers and feminists. Hopefully you're as good as the guys. Usually you're not, but...
I'm definitely not. Yeah, no, there's no way.
No, I don't think so. Statistically, genetically, usually women aren't really good in that field.
There's a couple things in this one. Firstly, she interrupts Sophie a lot in this video. This got called out in the comments a decent bit, but it's smart to some degree if you think somebody is veering off course of the topic at hand. But she also does the whole condescending, of course you would give that answer thing. She then calls Sophie disgusting for her beliefs and then veers into territory that is just downright attacking a person and saying they're inferior at certain things for reasons out of their control. That is language explicitly designed to evoke a reaction. But Sophie over here, the absolute G, the big muscle arms McGee, took it in stride and remained unaffected in the face of being battered with insults. Ones that if you did 2 seconds of research, you would find aren't even accurate. And when in a conversation about issues like these, the goal is usually to find compromise, or to put together an argument for why you believe what you believe, and for the other person to do the same, in order to change the mind of the other person, or at least have a dialogue. Whereas the tactics Caitlyn is using here are ones more useful in something like spectator sport. You use them to work and win over a crowd, or elicit a specific kind of reaction from your opponent, which in an actual good faith conversation they wouldn't even necessarily be that, in order to make them look a certain way. The person using those tools and techniques is very much trying to create a certain frame with which what's happening is viewed. The thing with Caitlyn Bennett's and Liberty Hangouts videos though, is that the crowd usually isn't in person. The crowd is the audience watching the video. So we can go back and pick apart those frames, see what they're doing typically, and figure it out for ourselves. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying gotcha moment tactics don't have their place. I've done some of it in this video myself. Bits that weren't really designed to open some kind of dialogue over whether or not Caitlyn Bennett's cool. I've got an agenda to push too. But this is Caitlyn's entire shtick, trying to get these reactions out of people. And by now, people are kind of catching on to it, and going around her frame to just do whatever the hell they want, not allowing themselves to be set up by playing into whatever pseudo-conversation Caitlyn Bennett wants to pretend to have, and instead just having fun with it and not taking her seriously. For instance, we have my guy Mustafa over here, an absolute king and probably one of my favorite people right now. He's out in the field just asking the really tough questions.
I think there's one really important question, and that's, did you shit yourself at a frat party?
Why are you talking about that when we're talking about soup? You know what? We should go.
Why are you talking about that, she asks. Why are you asking a person for their name and major and then saying they've only got it because of quotas? And then saying they'll be worse at her job than all the men doing it when the topic was communism. It's the same thing you do to other people non-stop, done to you. We've all probably been on both ends of this kind of thing if we're being honest, but there's something cathartic about watching someone who's always on the hunt for these kind of moments getting a bit of it herself, really. And with that, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. It's been a minute since I did a vid like this, so if you guys enjoyed, please let me know in the comments. If y'all think I missed anything, got anything wrong, or have anything to add, I would genuinely like to hear it. Be sure to drop it in the comments, and also be sure to like and subscribe with notifications on. You can follow me on Twitter at Kwite, and on Instagram at Kwite.png, and on TikTok at KwiteTikTok. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I will see you guys next time.